just edit this part out.
Hey everybody, it's tinkering time. I'm JC here at the Bears Den Garage, as you know it. Anyway, lately I've been working on this MTD mower. You've seen all the progress that I've done on it. It does run now. So, since it runs, and it's on this horrible deck, I've got a deck right here. I took the motor off of it because I couldn't get the motor to run, and I only bought it for parts for the JC Penney mower, which you will be seeing more of, because I'd like to get it running. But this was a yard machine, which is also an MTD mower, and it had a 3.5 Briggs, and I just could not get it to run. It was blowing oil everywhere and wouldn't fire, and so I said, hey, I only bought it for the carburetor anyway. So you'll see this one's motor parts on the JC Penney mower, because we're still going to try to get it to run. If I can't get that old motor to run, then I'm just going to buy a new Predator motor at Harbor Freight and throw it on there and call it good, because I'd rather have that thing running. Yeah, I think it'll be worth more if I have the original motor running, but I don't really have the tools to break that bad boy down and see what's wrong with it inside. I do know how to, but we're not going to mess with it until a later date. Anyway, the whole main purpose of the day is to take this motor, put it on this deck. Now, everybody wonders, why in the world am I messing with these junky old $20 worth of push mowers? Well, these junky old $20 push mowers were a friend of mine's that passed away of lung cancer, and the last projects he was doing was working on these lawn mowers, and he just did it to tinker because he had lung cancer and didn't have much else to do. But he lost his battle to lung cancer, and he wasn't a huge, great friend of mine. I didn't hang out with him a lot, but I knew him, and I liked him, and he liked me. And so I'm going to finish his project here, and I don't know if I'm going to sell these things or this thing or use it. I don't know yet, but I would like to get some money back on it, and so I may put it up for sale on Marketplace. But anyway, this video is dedicated to Adam, the man that passed away of lung cancer last year. And he was a hard worker and a funny man, and he loved riding motorcycles. But anyway, this video is for him, and this project being finished is one of his last projects that he didn't get finished. Do I know if he wanted to put this motor on this deck? No. To be honest, he had the motor that was sitting here running, and I couldn't get it to run. And he couldn't get this one to run, and we found out why in the last video. So it's going to be simple. Just pull this motor, stick it on this one. It's not going to be too crazy. It's pretty self-explanatory. There's 3 bolts on the motor and a blade. In this video, I'm going to show you how to sharpen a blade, and we're going to clean up this deck a little bit underneath. It's a little rusty. We want to kind of protect it, make it worth using. So, I mean, really, there's not a whole lot into getting these things apart. I already took this cable loose because my plans are to try and use this cable on this deck. If not, this one does have a good cable, but I don't know. I don't even know if this cable's going to work with this rod. I don't know if this rod is interchangeable yet. This is just me tinkering as usual. So, the first thing we need to do is put it up on its side. It's very important that when you put a push mower up on its side, that you don't put it on the carburetor side. The reason you don't put it on the carburetor side is because oil will start seeping out of the carburetor, and we don't want all that. Now, are we going to lose some oil? More than likely, yes. Is it going to get on my floor? Yes. But this floor, I just threw this thing together out of pallets so I didn't have to be wading in the mud. But, so we got this bolt here. This is for your blade, obviously. And this blade ain't really in awful shape, so I'm probably just going to reuse it. And then I got 1, 2, and 3 bolts. And these bolts are more than likely a 1/2 inch. Let me move the deck out of the way. Got my trusty mechanics tool set as usual. I'm in a garage and I use this little bitty tool set. I don't care. I gave my old tools to my son. You'll see him in a little bit, Christian. he's going to be showing you what we're going to do to this deck. But the hardest part about getting these push mowers apart is the blade. And there are a few different approaches you can do. I'm just going to cross my fingers and hope for the best that it goes off simple. I don't even know if I have the right size socket for this, which is usually a 5/8 or a 15 or a 16. And a 16 ain't fitting. Let's try a 5/8 if I can hold on to it. It's pretty snug. Try 17 before I try 11/16. 17's too loose. 11/16's probably be too loose. So what's happened is the rust has overtaken the bolt. Christian's going to learn here in a little bit how bad this thing is. So I'm going to try to stick a 16 on it now. For some reason, it's hard to get on, but I think I can get it on there. 1/2-inch socket, or yeah, 1/2-inch drive ratchet, aka JC's hammer. Yeah, it's funny, ain't it? That's righty-tighty. We need lefty-loosey. Alright, so the scary part about a mowing blade is sometimes it's so stuck you can't get it off. I got extremely lucky right here, and yeah, I don't know if I'll get the socket off. There we go. But I got extremely lucky just then, and all I had to do was hold the blade. A lot of times I stick my foot in there, and these things will run if you pull them hard enough. So you don't really want to stick your foot under there. But you see that pattern? That pattern is very important. If it don't have that pattern and you put a different, I'm going to call it a pulley. If you put a different one of those on, this pattern will not work on it. Since the blades are the same inch cut, 21 or 22, I can't remember. Since they're the same inch cut, it should work fine on this mulcher deck. It has a curve on it, so I believe we can use it as a mulcher blade. But alright, so we're this far. We got the blade off. Now the part that scares me the most about these, I am very, very, very prone to breaking these bolts off. We got to try our best not to do that. Now, I sprayed lubricant on these bolts. I'll spray one that I missed. But I sprayed lubricant on these, on the top side, before the video. I know I said I didn't do no prep, but you got to do prep when you're posting a video. So after I get this unhooked, or this engine unhooked, I'll be able to flip this deck back over and just lift the engine off. But now I need a 1/2 or a 13. What do you know? A 1/2 is perfect. A 1/2 and a 13, everyone says is the same, but one is slightly bigger than the other, and I honestly couldn't tell you which one. But now the rough part, put some booty in it. Now what I like to do is get them all starting to come loose, about like that. Because you don't want this thing to fall off while you're taking it off, because it'll be a hassle. So you want it to grab, and you want to do one bolt at a time. You want to take your time. Don't get in no big hurry or you'll break a bolt. which I can't believe it, but I successfully got all 3 bolts loose without breaking them. So now, here's a mistake that I've made a million times. Just because this bolt was your last one to get loose does not mean it's the first one you take off. You want the top bolt to stay in till dead last, because you want to be able to hold the block on the other side and keep it from coming off on you. Because you don't want it to drop. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed that, but it just dropped. That's why you keep that top bolt in. This is a Walmart mechanics tool set. Everyone says, oh, go buy Snap-on, go buy... Yeah, if you got the money, go for it. But I don't have that kind of money. I just barely get by. Maybe one day this channel will change that, but I got nothing but time. Notice it shifted again. That's because I have both of the bottom bolts out, and so now this thing will just flop around. That's what we want to keep that top bolt in, because now you got to hold the deck or hold the motor and get that last bolt out. Don't think that you can do this with your fingers, because it's not easy. Alright, so you see that the motor's loose. Now I can stand the deck back up. Alright, now we can just lift this motor right off. They're not heavy or anything like that. So my next step is getting this pull rope out of this loop. Now to do that, I need a socket that I probably don't have small enough. Let's try that one. What do you know? Right on the money. Now I'm not using this bolt, so I'm just gonna loosen it a little. Whoops, I slipped. And you push on it, and the rope comes right out. Now this motor is ready to transfer to this deck. But before we do that, I'm going to clean up a little bit here, and then Christian is going to work on this deck some. So I'll see you in a minute. This is Christian. You can only see his belly. There, Christian, tell him what you're going to do.
I am going to be wire brushing this entire part here.
Okay, what tools you going to need?
This drill, the wire brush piece.
Alright. He's about to find out the recoil that wire has.
It's probably going to suck. Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
you want to do 2 hands.
Wait, which part would be more important?
The inside.
Okay.
Now, a lot of you guys don't know this, but grass is going to build up there, and it's going to keep it a little wet. And that's where most of that rust that's in that deck came from. To be honest, this mower doesn't look like it's been used a whole lot, so the motor probably had an issue from the get-go. Most people, when they have a push mower like this, they only use it for a season, and then they go buy a new one. But hopefully this video shows you that you don't need to go buy a new lawnmower every year. Don't get me wrong, I support people buying new every year, and if you got the money, you go for it, but I don't got the money or the time, so this is what I've been doing since I was 6 or 7 years old. My first one was a 3.5 Briggs Murray, and I have Frankenstein these things together so many times it ain't even funny. So, yes, Christian, that's plastic.
Okay.
So, hopefully I gave y'all a little information. Now we're gonna just stand here and watch him do this. This is probably going to be a time lapse portion, so the time lapse will start soon. Do what?
This is gonna be a work montage.
A lot of you guys don't know, I used to run a lawn care business. I ran one for 2 years and then I owned one for a few years. I got divorced and decided that it was good to stop doing that. So, just a little bit of why I'm messing with these things. I've been tinkering with them since I was a kid, and I owned a business that had to do with these. And there's one thing I've learned is if you really want to save some money, work on your own stuff. If you work on your own stuff, you save a lot of money. And now, granted, when I said I owned a lawn care business, I wasn't that big. I did a couple trailer parks and a few residentials, and then I moved to Kentucky and did a couple trailer parks and a few residentials. But I never had a garage or a shop. I worked out of an 8x12 shed, and it was pretty tight. And so having an 18x20 building, I have learned how to fill it up real fast, but I love having the space. Right now on this wood, I have more space than I did when I owned my business. So, just something to think about.
That's all you can have. About dry.
Now there are a couple ways that you can sharpen a blade. Where is that paint can?
Paint can's somewhere.
Never mind, I got some gray somewhere. I'll paint the blade gray. But Christian's going to get back on making this less red inside wherever he put the paint can. Oh, it's right there by my body armor.
I see it.
Alright, sorry you lost me. Anyway, there's the old JC Penney. You know that'll be coming soon again. Alright, so we're going to look at a few projects that I've got to go on here. I've got an 82 Cadillac Eldorado. We will be working on the Caddy. It's going to be a long-term process. I'm going to have little videos of it. And then eventually I'm going to make a movie for the YouTube channel, about an hour long, just for old Casper, the friendly ghost. And then I got old Blue. Her name's actually the Blue Bitch, but we're going to call her Old Blue. But we got a little bit of work we need to do to her. And, well, that's just about it. And then, I don't know, got a bunch of old bicycles over there we're going to mess with. And got a couple four-wheelers we're going to mess with. And you saw the back of it in the garage. It's got a bunch of junk on it right now, but I got a zero-turn mower I'm going to pull the motor off of. I'll have that video too. But pretty much, I mean, when was the last time I showed y'all the bear's den? But I have probably one of the best views of a country field that you will ever see. There's my junk tires. If anybody wants some free junk tires, come get them. They're junk. But there's one of the four-wheelers we're going to work on. That's a Polaris Sportsman 500. I used to ride it, and she started lifting a pecker, or a lifter pecking. And then update on the lean-to. Christian's got a little more floor for the lean-to. This is Christian's shop now, the lean-to. There's his little four-wheeler. It's got an Arctic Cat seat, but I think it's just like a Ying Chow or something like that, but whatever. Yeah. Anyway, got a Honda under there. We're going to be putting brakes on it. It runs. I ride it. I shouldn't because it don't have brakes, but I ride it. And then the John Deere over there. I don't know if y'all have seen it in action or not, but I'm going to turn it into a toy or a tool. Who knows? But look at that view of the Bears Den's fields. I own none of these fields. I just own the yard on top of them. But man, that's a sight. So we're gonna continue waiting for paint to dry, and we'll be right blade. Dry enough for me to touch anyway. I'm probably going to get some gray on my hands. But now, granted, everything that we've been doing today, a lot of people call it hillbillying. Here in hillbilly land, we call it hooberian. But when we're sharpening a blade, you want to go, this one's kind of ate up if you can't tell. Kind of. It'll cut. I'll make it cut. It ain't no problem. But what you want to do is you want to run an angle on the grinder and grind this metal off. And then I'll flip it and do this one too. I have an angle etched into my grinder right here because this is the wheel I like to use to do mower blades, and that's the wheel I do other junk with. But this grinder is going to be loud, so you will not hear me speaking. So what you do is you go at an angle and you just shave her off. Make it nice and smooth. And I'll probably flip it over and knock some burrs off the other side too. But I'm going to fire it up, and you ain't going to hear a dang thing I'm saying, and you're going to see stuff bouncing all over this table. This is not the permanent spot for my bench grinder. This is just the spot that I have for it at the moment. Alright. This is a tiny bench grinder. I recommend a bigger one, but my big one's messed up right now. Good on that side. got a couple burrs in it still, but this is probably the sharpest this blade has ever been. There's a few burrs on this side too, but not too many. Anyway, this will cut. Not only will this cut, but it'll cut great. Don't let anyone tell you that burrs ruined your blade, because even though I got this little burr here, I guarantee this thing is going to move so fast that the grass ain't going to care if there's a little burr in it. Alright, so now we'll get back to the install of the engine. Alright, so now we're going to throw the power on this bad boy. So, really light engine. So, ain't going to be hard. The only thing that scares me is I hope the bolt holes will line up. But our pull start, let me pull it out just a hair, I think. Just pops right on. Well, I say it just pops. There it went. Okay, so like I said, I'm worried about bolt holes, which I think I'm going to be okay on. Now, the tricky part about installing the motor is, even though both of these motors are made by MTD, that don't mean the bolt holes are going to line up. What I like to do is, you know what, I'm going to introduce a new assistant too. Autumn, come here. That's my little girl, Autumn. What I'm going to have her do is stand this deck up so I can put these bolts in. So, Autumn, I want you to go to the end. I want you to push down on the mower. Just, thank you very much. Don't I have a pretty little assistant? Now I've got to use my finger, which sometimes is bigger than my brain. Got one started. Now I need to get this one started. And I got one more on the other side. Hold on, the struggle's real with this one. So this process is repeating the process we just did on the other deck, basically. So there's not a lot of rocket science to it.
It's backwards.
If you want to learn, if you just have to figure out how to do this, then push rewind. Play it backwards in slow motion, you'll get it. Okay, so this one's kind of cross-threaded, but it'll work. All right.
Dad, like, share, subscribe.
What? Okay, so now, thank you, Autumn, for your debut assistance here. I'm gonna stand her up high enough. Hope that pallet stays up. Hate to die today. Pull my britches up. Okay. That's a 9/16. Did I have a 9/16 on this? No, I had a half. That's lefty loosey. We need righty tighty. Man, this deck's come a long way. Christian, will you stand over there by that bar to make sure this thing don't fly up on me? Thank you. all these bolts have lock washers on them, so when you get it tight, it ain't coming loose. Alright, now I need you and Autumn to switch places because we got a switch camera. My son decided to tell me that I need to remind you guys that we need subscribers, so like, share, and subscribe. I'll tell you again at the end of the video. Cue writing across the screen. Don't edit that out.
I'm gonna write no.
Alright, so we got our beautiful who-buried blade here. Now, I want to show y'all how to put this back on. So, we got 2 notches right here and this star pattern. They line up perfectly. Perfectly imperfect. Right there. And then, I struggle I don't have the ability of having 15 hands. So, there's only 2 of them. God gave us all only 2. Or whoever you believe in. I don't want to offend nobody. But my biggest issue with putting these blades back on is getting them lined up perfectly. Which I think I got it right there. Now this washer piece has said same notches in it for a reason. That way, once you get it on, you ain't gonna spin it. Sissy, hold that down. It's on righty tighty, ain't it? So. Now this does not have a lock washer, so you want to get it good tight. Cross-thread it if you got to. Alright. You can get off now, Sissy. So now we got her standing on 4 legs. I don't know what the deal is with this wheel. I'll figure all that out later. Might have been ran over or something. So now we got to go up here. And we got our spring catcher. That pallet's dangerous. I don't know exactly where we need our spring catcher yet. So I'm going to stick it. Ooh, that's too tight. We're going to have to use the other one. This might go or not go as I want it to, because I had to switch. Alright, so we'll hope that this will do just fine. Okay. So now, this cable, it hooks right here, if I can get it to hook. And then, I got this cable that it's actually not supposed to go in like that. It's supposed to go in like this. But, whoa, Bob. Okay, that's sketchy. I gotta move it up a notch. Maybe I should put this cable in first. I don't know if I can. What's supposed to happen is it's supposed to go like that and then slip in this notch.
Oh, I see.
We might have to use the other cable, which I still have, but
Now it's too tight.
See how the cable's made different? It's made to slip in like that and go forward like that. So I might have to install that cable. Okay, that's easy. That's very easy. Okay. So I think it's a 10 millimeter. Oh, I don't need it. I don't need 10 millimeter, I just need a pair of pliers. Maybe. Okay, so that cable won't interchange with the cable that I want. So I'm gonna get a 10 millimeter. Take this cover off. This is the governor cover. Don't edit that out. Your screw ups are what gets your views. Now, one of the videos I said we was going to adjust the governor. It's not running too high, so I don't want to, because governors are sketchy. But, you know, like the governor of Kentucky. He's a little sketchy. But I got a screwdriver somewhere. Hey, here's one. About cracky.
Flathead.
Now what I'm doing is, this thing has a lip, and I'm just pushing on that lip to get the cable out, and then, all right. So this one is getting the delete. Deleted. This one is getting the elite. I should snap it on down here first. Alright, so there's a hole, and I can't see it. Camera probably can't see it, but it don't matter because it's in there. And then I just press this in, snap, and then pull this up here, insert cable here, and then now I'm in trouble. Everything's got to be in a different spot. Alright, so it used to be on this one. I don't know if it's going to work on this one. On the same notch. It might. But it used to be notched right here. Let me see. This thing wasn't easy to get out. Alright, should run. And shut off like it's supposed to. Let's hope.
Now for you to put that back on and then the loud part.
Yep, now for me to put this back on and then the loud part.
Well said.
Now the governor cover has the square notch here that goes in here. And it just pops in, tightens up. Take a rag. And wipe this off some. If I remember right, this thing had a carburetor leak.
Yes.
That I didn't feel like fixing.
I saw it leaking.
So now we'll take her outside, see if she'll mow.
Hope the governor covered her.
The governor isn't going to come off.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Dozer.
Hey. Why do you listen to me? Oh, a piece of plywood.
Alright, so you still filming?
Quit it. Yes.
Okay, so we knew it runs because we got it running once before. But it should have some gas in it. Cross your fingers.
You're going back up.
Whoa, Bob.
Don't drop it.
We might have flooded it. Or I ain't pulling it far enough up, but it should be. I think we flooded it. Yeah, bunch of crud in here.
There ain't no water.
I don't have a spark plug socket big enough.
Oh, lovely.
Which one's that one? Okay.
Yeah, which one is it? Nobody knows.
I can't get the spark plug out. So
I guess this thing really wants to be the star of the show. Uh-oh.
it's the cable. The cable ain't pulling far enough. Have any gas in it? No, it's out of gas.
So many issues.
Alright, so what happened this time is it's out of gas. So when we go get gas, we'll start it, mow with it. And then I'm done with this thing. Ta-da! There we have it. Do a little walk around. It's running. It's mowing. So, Alright, there it is. That's all I'm doing with it. If you're interested in it, like, share, and subscribe. Leave in the comments. We'll figure out a price. I'm done with that thing. Anyway, thanks for joining Tinkering Time. See you later.